Hello, how are you? It's so good to see you all. It's so good to see you all. We're already in the last days of December, aren't we? I can just imagine how you're all doing. Running from one place to another with family, at work, closing out cycles, parties, and everything else. The week of December 15th to the 21st. I'm sending you a big hug with lots of love from my soul to yours. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for so much love, for so many words filled with light, and for your blessings from my family and for me. May it all be returned to you 100-fold. Listen, we have a very interesting week ahead, you see. From December 15th to the 21st. On the 15th, Mars enters Capricorn. And it'll be there in Capricorn until January 23rd. Venus, Mercury, and the Sun will remain in the sign of Sagittarius. And something very interesting we're going to have on the 19th, Friday the 19th, a micromoon, new moon, yes, in Sagittarius. We're going to set our intentions in none other than a sign of good fortune, abundance, and prosperity. And what's more, the moon will be in Sagittarius, the sun in Sagittarius, Mercury, no, not Mercury, Venus. Yes, Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius. The one that's changing is Mars in Capricorn. And on Sunday, December 21st, we have the sun entering Capricorn at 9:03 in the morning. And on that day, we also have the Winter Solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, of course. And we also have the moon in the sign of Capricorn. The little girls and boys who are born on Sunday, December 21st, starting at 9:03 in the morning, Central Time, will be born with the sun in Capricorn, the moon in Capricorn, and Mars in Capricorn. Wow! They're going to be triumphant, successful creatures, very intelligent, very studious, real go-getters. I mean, that this coming Sunday, December 21st, it's very favorable for all of us to have 3 planets. 3, 2 luminaries, and 1 planet in the sign of Capricorn. The sun, the moon, and Mars in Capricorn. And for the other days of the week, I can tell you that we're going to have before 9:03 in the morning on the 21st, we still have the sun in Sagittarius. What I mean by this is that we'll have Mercury, Venus, and the moon in Sagittarius from December 17th until December 19th. How does all of this affect us? The moon represents emotions. Mars, which will already be moving into Capricorn on the 15th, is the impulse, the energy, the drive to move forward. Mercury is communication. Venus is a matter of love, of work. Each of the planets has its influence, just like each of the signs. This week, the most important thing is that we don't forget that we're going to give thanks to the sun in Sagittarius next Sunday, December 21st. And it is important to give thanks for what? What we learned, what we unlearned. I love to unlearn. What did you learn and what did you unlearn? What did you get from the sun in Sagittarius? What did you learn in that cycle? I insist, because we all have to live it, feel it, enjoy it, vibe with it, close it, and be grateful for it. Also, on the 19th, at 7:43 p.m. Central Time, that's when we're going to have the micromoon new moon in Sagittarius. So we'll write down December 19th, 2023, micro new moon in Sagittarius. Make your intentions in the present tense so that the subconscious understands and so that the universe picks up on what I desire. I'm not going to write someday I will have, someday I will achieve. No, my love. I have, I am, I do, I deserve, I desire. Always in the present tense. Feel that you are deserving. Feel that you deserve all your desires and put all your effort, will, and spirit into making them happen. It's also a week for reunions. Of many personal, family, social, and romantic reunions. By personal, I mean with ourselves. To start liking ourselves again. Giving ourselves our place. How much do you attend to yourself, pamper yourself, cherish yourself? How much space do you make for yourself? How much do you recognize yourself as? Unique, beautiful, wonderful, and valuable human being? If we don't recognize how wonderful and valuable we are, many times others won't recognize it in us. And when that happens, well, really, we wish them the best, even if they don't recognize it in us. But since we know our own worth, we don't let them cross the line. This is also a week where you're going to have contact with people that you had maybe distanced yourself from a little. And there are 1,000 ways to get in touch, with a phone call, a text message, a WhatsApp, a hello, how are you? Hello, how he been? You're going to feel that and experience that this week. Do it. It will heal your soul a great deal. Closing cycles. Yes, the cycles that closed are closed. Because when we talk about forgiveness, to forgive is to heal the soul. To forgive is to see with new eyes. To forgive, no one has ever said that to forgive is to forget. But forgiving isn't forgetting. It just means I'm not keeping it fresh in my mind, not keeping it fresh in my memory, not keeping it fresh in my heart. I speak about it differently now. Why? Because to forgive is to see with new eyes, but forgiveness is one thing and reconciliation is another. Okay, the matter is forgiven, but no. You no longer have a place in my life. That is the cycle we are all experiencing. As we close this Sagittarius cycle this coming Sunday, December 21st. It's a week of love, yes. For me, every day is a day of love. But there are weeks that are more charged than others, with loving, positive energy, and so on. And take the opportunity to do a good cleaning of your house. We're about to close out the year. What's left to do? Let's do a cleaning. Let's donate, give things away. Let's share and make space for the new. By making space for the new, we free ourselves from many ties and many attachments, and we share so many things we might have that we haven't used. I'm not even talking about just in the last year. How many things do we have stored away from 10, 15, 20 years ago that we don't even use? And other people can use them, and that will give you a lot of freedom of action. I'm going straight to the astrological recommendations. My dear Aries, you are doing very well. You feel fulfilled, happy, accomplished. Just channel and focus your energies. Try not to let them move you from your center, because many times on many occasions, you want to always be right, and you can't always be right when you're not right. When you are right, go for it. But there are moments when you have to listen to what others are saying. Look, listening to what others think doesn't mean you have to agree with them, nor they with you. But if we're going to reach a common agreement because it benefits us professionally, work-wise, and economically, well, let's reach an agreement, right? One that is beneficial for everyone involved. That's what I'm referring to. You have a week of many parties, many gatherings, many reunions, with friends, with family. You also receive very good news starting it begins approximately on the 18th, 19th, 17th, 18th, and 19th of December. These are very interesting days because you're going to receive good news about negotiations, paperwork, matters that weren't moving forward, that weren't progressing, that were stalled. They're going to move forward with great speed. And it also indicates things like surprises, gifts, or some kind of recognition, some applause, something beautiful coming into your life. For Taurus, you have absolutely everything to gain. I emphasize that when I say you have everything to gain, it means you're going to start or continue doing well in every sense, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's extremely important to keep your feet on the ground, your eyes toward the sky, and your hand on your heart. And remember something that is basic: gratitude. Because life often fills us with many opportunities, many gifts, and great results. But if we forget, and listen closely, if we ourselves forget the whole journey we've taken to get where we are, and most importantly, who is with me on that journey to get where I am. I know that's not you. On the contrary, Taurus, you're a person with a very good memory. You're a very grateful person with a very good heart. This week, you're going to meet someone who will sort of remind you of something, and you're going to feel very fulfilled, very content, very happy about everything you've done and where you find yourself. There will be applause and rewards for some work, for something you did, and it won't just bring great results for you, but for the people involved as well. For Gemini, love is knocking at the door. You might already be in a stable relationship, and if not, one is coming, or you'll make a relationship completely official. Venus is out there, up to its old tricks with you, my dear Gemini. Venus in Sagittarius, the moon in, and the sun in Sagittarius, and on the 19th, the moon is also in Sagittarius. Well, that Friday is going to be wonderful. Parties, events, gatherings, celebrations for my dear Geminis. And the 17th and 18th are very important days for you in work and professional matters. You're going to receive good news that will be a great relief. And that relief isn't just for you, but for those involved, and also for your family members, your loved ones. You're considering starting something on your own. You're talking to different people, planning many things. Remember that you have the ability, the public relations skills, the intelligence, the imagination, and the desire to make things happen. Analyze very carefully who you do want in your life when it comes to jobs, business, buying, selling, and so on, so that everything flows in your favor and in harmony, of course. For my dear Cancers, you have the passion, the dedication, and the commitment. You're at a point where it's not time to think, it's time to act. 3, 2, 1, action. It's time to make things happen. You know how. You know what I'm talking about, my dear Cancer. You're in a very beautiful time. We're closing out the year, you're as happy as can be, because you're very, 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 very close to spending many wonderful days with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends. This week is extremely interesting, and here's why. Since Mars entered Capricorn on the 15th, Capricorn is in the same cross as you, which is the cardinal cross. You start the summer, and Capricorn starts the winter. Also, this coming Sunday, we have the moon in Capricorn and the sun entering Capricorn with the solstice. This week is very beneficial for you to weigh your decisions and what you want. Notice what I said, your decisions and what you want. Usually, you always put things on the table so that everyone agrees. It's not that others will disagree, but you are going to analyze, observe, and check every single detail of what you want moving forward, my dear Cancer. With huge benefits, because there will be freedom of action, peace, harmony, tranquility, and many changes in your way of seeing life that will bring you a lot of relaxation. There's very good news regarding your loved ones. Something else that's very important, you were waiting on some paperwork. If you were waiting for something, I know it's the holiday season, but this week you'll receive something you needed. And if you don't receive it physically or electronically, you'll get notice that you'll have that paperwork or that process completed, starting in the first few days of January. For you, my dear Leo, move forward with your plans, with your projects, with your desires, without having to please others or needing them to accept your plans, your wishes, or your desires. Many times, we don't even understand ourselves, and we want others to understand our projects, right, Leo? Right now, you're at a very important moment in your life where you're determined to make decisions that give you the freedom to act. What I'm referring to is, you're such a go-getter, so creative, charming, fun, and you have a very fertile imagination. And you know, it's like you can sense which way to go and which way not to. Listen to that sixth sense. Listen to your intuition. I'm talking about work, professional, and financial matters. You'll receive that money you've been waiting for. You'll get it this week. And you'll also sign those papers you've been wanting to sign this week, which will benefit you and your loved ones. It's also a very good time to resolve communication differences at home. Every day is a good day to resolve them. But this week, we continue to have very favorable aspects for you, Leo. Having the sun, Venus, and Mars in Sagittarius will help you immensely. to have, well, peace, harmony, serenity, and tranquility in the most important place, which is our home. For Virgo, intuition, perception, and premonitory dreams are completely in your favor. Just like that. Listen to your intuition, Virgo. It won't be wrong when you make determinations and decisions that are all related to your work and professional life. There's something that's been on your mind for several months. These are decisions you had put off for later. Maybe you postponed them for whatever reason. Right now, we're closing out the year. Maybe there will be decisions you can't make. Because, well, they are, I repeat, work and professional matters, but it is important that they are discussed. Because you have so much ability and so much intelligence, and to the extent that you are giving, my dear Virgo, is the extent to which you should receive. We shouldn't get used to receiving less than what we're giving, because otherwise it becomes a habit or custom. That's why it's important to step out of your comfort zones, and you're doing that because it's been on your mind a lot. Also this week, before it starts, before December 21st, when the sun enters the sign of Capricorn, the 18th, 19th, and 20th, you might be at parties, events, gatherings, celebrations, and so on. And you might meet someone very interesting, someone very important who will be good for your very short-term future. Plus, it'll fill you with a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. The energy of those people. For Libra, the travels continue, my dear Libra. Many trips are coming into your life. Trips, and yes, they are physical. Because many times there are physical, mental, and other kinds of tricks. No, not those mental trips where we go to other places. Very Libra, like a good air sign. No, these are trips, physical trips. And those trips will help you a lot because you're going to rediscover many lost pieces of yourself because you'll be with your friends or your loved ones making tremendous and wonderful decisions for your well-being and that of your people. Also this week, looking ahead to when the sun is in Capricorn and not to mention Mars in Capricorn, which is in your same cross, the cardinal cross. Just as you start the autumn, well, Capricorn starts the winter. This means that many of the plans you started at the beginning of September will start to yield great results. It doesn't matter if we're right on December 24th, 25th, or on the 31st and the beginning of January 1st. No. The things that are yours by right of conscience will manifest. They will happen, and you'll have good news this week. Also, in your home, there's news that will bring you a lot of joy and happiness. It's about one of your family members, something lovely, something that will fill your soul with happiness and delight. If you have to do any kind of buying, selling, signing, or negotiating, the whole week is phenomenal for you, my dear Libra. For Scorpios, listen to your inner voice before making any decision or determination. Your intuition always pinpoints things for you, Scorpio. Stay away from dream stealers. Stay away from those little energy ticks. Stay away from those people, as I say, those people who pass out and instead of coming to, they come back with a no. No, my love. Because you're like a vacuum cleaner, you absorb everyone else's energy. And I'm telling you, you know why I'm telling you all this? Because you're in a perfect time. Everything has been going well for you in recent weeks. And it's important that you connect with people who are vibrating on your same frequency, who have the same life plans. Yes, sometimes we have to interact with all kinds of people, but not so constantly. I'm referring to this week, okay, my dear Scorpio? Because right now it's a week of parties, events, gatherings, celebrations, and so on. The day, here I go. The 15th, 16th, and 17th are very important days in your life because they will give you an answer to something you needed. Whatever has to do with work, signings, contracts, answers, paperwork, something that was stalled and wasn't happening. We have trips on the horizon, right, my dear Scorpio? With family, with friends, with a lot of fun. Many changes are coming within the organization of your home. This could mean you move, remodel, or you're thinking about buying or selling. For Sagittarius, the Wheel of Fortune is totally in your favor. It's not time to think, Sagittarius. It's time to act. You already know, as you usually do. Think a little, feel a lot, act a lot. Because there's no need to overthink things when your intuition and sixth sense have pushed and driven you to do new and different things. This week, while the sun is still in Sagittarius until December 21st, along with Mercury and Venus, it's giving you those magic keys, my dear Sagittarius, to take the lead, to take charge, to make the decisions that are best for your highest good. For yourself, your family, and your surroundings. The decisions you make this week will give you a lot of freedom to act. They'll bring you a lot of inner peace. You're a person who always, as a rule, looks on the bright side of things. You're a hard worker, a real go-getter. And this week, since you've been doing a lot of introspection lately, soul-searching, meditating, reading, receiving information from guides, angels, and masters, you already have the decisions made for your well-being and the well-being of the people who are, I repeat, around you, both your loved ones and the people in your professional life. For Capricorns, well, what can I tell you? Next December 21st, my dear, we have the sun in your sign. On the 15th, Mars in your sign. It's time to focus, Capricorn, focus. We're closing the Sagittarius cycle on the 21st. You are entering your birthday cycle. You're closing the Saturn cycle that really shook things up for you. But right now, this week, from the 15th to the 21st, things will appear in your favor as if by magic. You know, it wasn't by magic. It's the result of your good conduct, your ability, your dedication, your commitment. There's no need to shout or get angry. You have to let things fall into place as they should. Because what is yours by right of conscience is yours, and no one can take it away from you. Great opportunities are presenting themselves for you, my dear Capricorn, to start something on your own. You've given it a lot of thought, and it's time. Maybe not to start it this week, unless you've had this in mind for a long time and have been planning to do it. Go for it. It's a super week. But if it's going to be something new, you can already plan it, visualize it, put it together, have your different scenarios, as you usually do, Capricorn, and put it into action in the coming weeks. There are family and romantic reunions in the lives of Capricorns. Lots of love, my dear. For Aquarius, changes in your finances will give you a huge sigh of relief. It's a week with a super packed schedule. You're doing 1,001 things. You have to go one way, you have to go the other, you have to be traveling, you have to do many things at once. If you stay organized, my dear Aquarius, everything will work out sensationally for you. You're in a prosperous era, you know? It's a time of abundance. And nothing is the result of coincidence. Everything is the result of cause and effect. I mean, it's what you've done. Right now, you, Aquarius, have what you've earned. And if you know that what you've done is super favorable, and I'm absolutely sure it is, because that's how you beautiful Aquarians are, always moving forward, positive, with drive, you don't hold back from making things happen. Especially the 15th, well, actually almost the whole week, Aquarius, is super favorable. But to be clear, from the 15th to the 19th are very magical days for you, where you'll have everything from applause, rewards, and recognition to the opportunity to do new and different things. The opportunity to do something new in your life. And you're going to receive a gift, something you were looking for, something you were waiting for, something that will bring you a lot of joy and happiness. And for you, my dear Pisces, good fortune continues to be on your side. Let me tell you everything you have going for you. There are very favorable changes in love, romance, passion, and family. Everything you have to buy, sell, sign, or negotiate is marked in your favor. You're going to receive, I'll keep insisting on this, you're going to receive some miraculous money. Maybe someone will give you a gift. What could it be? Who knows? Anything from a piece of candy to a house. It can happen. When there are miraculous gifts and miraculous money, it can be, I repeat, anything from a cupcake, a piece of candy, a small pastry, to something that makes you say, what? It happens. It happens. And that's how the planetary aspects are very well aligned for you, my dear Pisces. Also, changes in your finances will give you a lot of freedom to act. You receive some money you weren't even expecting, which will give you a huge sigh of relief, allowing you to either pay something off or make an investment to start something on your own in the coming weeks, with a very interesting opportunity for one of your family members to join you in what you're doing right now, to multiply what you're capable of achieving. If you use your talent, your creativity, your intuition, your perception, and the other person contributes, as if in a partnership, the connections, the money, and so on, you'll do very interesting things with very positive changes in your finances. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being part of this great, loving, luminous, and successful family. I invite you to subscribe here to our channel. Give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell. Come on, subscribe. We're getting closer to reaching 1 million. Come on, my content is really great. My website is Mizada-Mohamed.com, and if you want to send me an email, you can do so at diselo@Mizada-Mohamed.com. Mizada Mohamed. And the products we sell here in my store, that's all I have, okay? If they sell you things somewhere else, no, well then I'll buy. I mean, it has nothing to do with me. They have nothing to do with me. On social media, I am Mizada Mohamed, but it has to be verified. If it's not verified, it's not from Mizada. We're just a few days away from the end of the year. It's a good time to give ourselves permission to love ourselves, to value ourselves, to respect ourselves, to send that letter, send that email, knock on that door, make that call. Let's not take for granted our family, our loved ones, the people we vibe with, that we feel for. Let's not put it off. Today is the best day to do it. I am Mizada Mohamed. I love you all, and I want to see you thrive. Thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to our channel and visit my page, Mizadamohamed.com.